Book of the Week, The Three Questions by John J. Muth. Hi, and welcome everybody. It's Jason Barlow, RMT, and I'm here today as your therapist and as your coach to help you transform any stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness, and vitality. You know, it's not just limited to us that experiences stress, tension, and pain as adults. And I certainly work with a range of families in my clinic, and I love welcoming young ones, especially when they've never had a treatment before. Their eyes usually open up quite wide initially to what's entailed in the room, and they've never even necessarily even been into a space that's quite like it. I like to try and make it relaxing and appealing to all ages. And so as they come in with their parents who've very often had a treatment before, so they have described to their child, but once the child has that experience of a treatment, it's remarkable to see how quickly they respond to massage care and how very often they will become quite sedated and just relax, so much so that they'll drift away into a sleep. And parents often tell me afterwards that they will have one of the best nights of sleep, or their restless sleeps have gone. Or I had one child who was, I think he was 13 at the time, who was struggling with sleepwalking. And the parent didn't know quite what to do. And not that I could offer any promises, but remarkably, after having just one treatment, their sleepwalking actually went away. So it's remarkable how sensitive and how responsive young people can be to massage care. And I feel in the same regard to anything that we're sharing with them, and especially when it comes to information through education and through books. And this week's book is for adults and children alike. But if you have any children in your life, be it your kids or grandkids or great grandkids for that matter, if you've not got this book, if you've not read this book, I highly recommend it because it's such a beautiful teaching. Resonates with me being a Buddhist. There's actually reference in here to a Zen master that author John Muth had been reading one of the books by, I don't know if I'm going to say this name correctly, but Thich Nhat Hanh, and that's a Vietnamese Zen master. Anyway, the original story is coming from Leo Tolstoy. Count Leo Tolstoy was a Russian great novelist and one of the most influential moral philosophers and social reformers. He is renowned as the author of War and Peace and Anna Karenina, and also as an outstanding thinker of the 19th century. His short story, The Three Questions, on which this book is based, was published in 1903. So what are those three questions? They're on the back of the book. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? And what is the right thing to do? And in his book, and the way it's written and described, I used to read this very often to my boys. I'd ask them what book they want to read, and if they weren't quick enough, I would pull this one out. This is my go-to. But, so well pieced together by way of artwork, short descriptions on the bottom, and just such a beautiful story that's essentially going through in a little boy who's got animal friends and meets a wise panda and, meets a wise turtle. Pandas need help. That's kind of the short form of the story. But each of these animals he's interacting with, he's actually asking them these three questions. So they obviously all give their answers from their own perspective as to when is the best time to do things, who is the most important one, and what is the right thing to do. But eventually, as he meets the wise turtle and there's a situation that plays out, he starts to get the answers that seem to resonate most of all for him. And I don't want to spoil it. You just got to go get the book because it's such a beautiful read. And John Muth has a bunch of different books available, all very much related to young population, but doesn't matter your age, because I still get little shivers when I read this book of we need the same messages over and over again. Have you found that's been my experience? 15, 16 years ago when I first had experiences with meditation about what is meditation and the benefits of meditation and how to do it, and all these many ways to meditate. And I still repeat those meditations. And it's interesting that over time, it's just like it's being imprinted more deeply into your mind and your heart. And I think we start up here very intellectually, right? Very oh, I got to get this, drill this, and I read the words and I got it. Great. Okay. And I think about it and think about it and think about it. But it's only after we get it so many times, it starts to sink, right? From here, the brain head level and intellectual to, or maybe here now we're starting to articulate it through our voice and our vision, and we start to share with more people. That's where I'm at with respect to my podcasts and so forth. And then eventually, the more deeply it becomes ingrained in our daily life, our way of living, that then we actually start to generate those feelings and thoughts and communications, if you will, from a heart level. Now we don't just think about it. We don't just talk about it. We know it. We know it. And this is something that we need to know. We're living such a busy lifestyle. Well, it's kind of changed a little bit with COVID, but have you found that you filled your time with other things? And what are those things that you've usually filled it with? It's things that you believe are going to bring you more happiness. And the question is it? Have you truthfully in this last 12 months found the happiness that you're actually trying to find and that you're seeking? To which you may answer, yeah, I found definitely more happiness. I've got better balance with life, work, because I'm working from home. I get to see my kids more. Awesome. Great. You are getting some happiness from that, right? But have you noticed, if you're not paying attention to your mind, you can have all of those things lined up. You can be eating the finest foods and exercising every day. But the moment your mind gets irritated or is anxious or frustrated or jealous, as soon as your mind is deviated away from a sense of inner peace and contentment, happiness, what happens? Doesn't matter what the outside conditions are like, right? You are unhappy, miserable, whining, out of control mentally, right? I'm just talking from my own experience. But those things can quickly come up in your mind. Why? Because you haven't found the root cause of your stress, tension, and pain, and the root cause of health, happiness, and vitality. This book is one of the gateways to help you understand that a little bit more. And I'm not going to spoil the story. You got to go away, get yourself a copy of this book, The 3 Questions by John J. Muth, and read it to yourself first, maybe. But if you've got young kids or grandkids, then I highly recommend just start to read it to them. And they'll probably have some questions too related to it. And hopefully you're able to share an example from your side of what these questions mean to you and how that then goes from here to here to here, right? From the head to the throat to the heart. Thank you for joining me. I hope, again, you're finding these videos of benefit, these podcast episodes of benefit. Eventually, I'm sure I'll shake up the way that I do these videos and podcasts. But for now, I'm getting great benefit from just learning to articulate my message to you. And hopefully you're out there and listening to it and able to indulge yourself in something that's going to help. Well, I feel it is, because it's helped me. I'm just trying to share it with others. Help improve your health, happiness, and vitality. Because who wants to be stressed and tense and in pain? Nobody. We all want 2 things: to be free from that, to be free from stress, tension, and pain, and to experience as much health, happiness, and vitality as much as possible, as often as possible, and as long as possible too. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week. And remember, your muscle health is my #1 priority.